the papacy involved with the United Nations? Additionally, how is the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, uniting with the papacy, and what is the Black Swan? Is it in fact a link to the World Health Organization? Does it have anything to do with Hegelian dialect? We are going to address all of this so you are not a victim of their fear-mongering, but you can see from the Word of God and current events where we are in the stream of time. In fact, we have taken a major step towards one world government. World leaders adopt pivotal UN pact for the future. And this next article provides the purpose of the pact. And it is the UN General Assembly approved the blueprint. And what is it for? To tackle 21st century challenges. It is also noteworthy that 193 nations have signed on to this pact. Now, this article from Reuters will explain what are the issues that they're addressing. It covers themes including peace and security, global governance, sustainable development, climate change, and digital cooperation.
The UN General Assembly has given a thumbs up to a blueprint that's to bring the world's increasingly divided countries together to tackle 21st century challenges. Those ranging from climate change, artificial intelligence, to escalating conflicts. The 42-page Pact for Future was adopted at the opening of the two-day Summit of the Future called by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
I called for this summit to consider deep reforms to make global institutions more legitimate, fair and effective the values of the UN Charter.
In this article, what are they looking to achieve? What is their agenda? Global governance. And what is global governance? Well, they'll tell you. You see, overall, the agreement of the pact is a strong statement of countries' commitment to the United Nations, the international system, and international law. Ultimately, it is a blueprint for everyone, for all. Read here in the blue. The President of the General Assembly noted that the pact would lay the foundation of sustainable, just, and peaceful global order for all peoples and nations. Did you hear that? Peace? What does the Bible say? Peace, peace. They will say peace and safety and then sudden destruction.
I strongly believe it is possible to prevent this disastrous scenario. I am confident we can build a new multipolar global with new opportunities for leadership and with balance and justice in international relations. But multipolarity creates complexity. Left to itself, it could deepen fault lines between North and South, East and West, developed and developing economies, within the G20, and between the G20 and everyone else. And the only way to manage this complexity and avoid a slide into chaos is through a reformed, inclusive, networked multilateralism. Now, this requires strong multilateral institutions and frameworks and effective mechanisms of global governance. Without them, further fragmentation is inevitable and the consequences are clear. We see an impunity around the world. We see some countries doing whatever it takes to further their own interests at all costs. From Russia's invasion of Ukraine to Sudan, more recently Gaza, Parties to conflict are ignoring international law, trampling on the Geneva Conventions, and even violating the United Nations Charter.
That was, of course, Gutierrez speaking at Davos. Where? World Economic Forum? Do you hear the undertones of everyone needs to come together and it's going to be the peace? They want all minds to think alike. That is a fulfillment of Revelation 17:13. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. And in this article, you see that the pact is designed to turbocharge implementation of sustainable development goals. Now you see here, the Global Digital Compact was annexed to the pact, the first comprehensive global framework to digital cooperation. They want to connect everyone digitally. They've been working on digital ID, CBDC. So food for thought. Get everyone online digitally. And then there's a cyber attack. Perfect opportunity to flip the switch, and then you have the Great Reset. Hegelian dialect. The same people who create the problem come in with the solution. Now this is obviously going to have a part 2, maybe 3, but it's important that you hear and see all the play and the interplay. Now I'm going to upload some video clips that occurred in the great United States of America prior to the UN Pact. And it's from our leaders and lawmakers.
Later this week, the UN is going to hold a, quote, summit for the future. And they're going to produce, this is right from their website, an intergovernmentally negotiated, action-oriented pact for the future with a chapter on transforming global governance. Ascending beyond the powers being sought by its subordinate agency, the WHO, the UN is seeking even broader and more powerful authority, as you will hear a lot about today. The Biden-Harris administration apparently intends to fully support the surrender and compliance of the UN in these endeavors. They are aligned with the international globalists that hate America, that hate the Constitution, that hate our founders, that hate our founding Judeo-Christian principles, and they want America to become like the rest of the world. They don't want us to be subordinate to or governed by our Constitution. No, they want America to be subordinate to and governed by...
You will see that all organizations uniting have a hatred of our Constitution. You see, we have a Bill of Rights, and yet we are linking ourselves with other nations who don't operate under the same tenets. Part 2.